the Houthis um, uh, terrorizing the Red Sea and operating there is the Chinese. Um, and
Can you elaborate
so
on
I
that? How do the Chinese connect with all that for people that don't know?
sure. So the right now the United States pretty much guarantees the shipping lanes in the world. And if the United States refuses to do that, somebody will do that because that's not a thing that's going to be like a total free for all. And it's going to these Chinese, and frankly, the between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf is like the world's most important transit point for oil and natural resources and things like that everyone needs. And the people in that region, namely the Saudis, are not going to accept that area being a free for all for Iranian, um, for Iranian blackmail at any time.
I don't think a lot of
Uh,
people even knew that the Houthis were blowing up ships. I think they just think there's some type of vendetta between the Saudis and Yemen, and it's some type of a gang war, and they don't even understand that the Houthis were blowing up ships.
yeah, it's crazy, and they were doing it at look, it's really smart. It's really really smart because it costs a civilized country like 20 to 50 times as much to shoot down one of these things as it costs them to throw up in the air and to make problems in terms of drones or in terms of rockets or whatever.
And the cost of the
um
ships having to go around the Horn of Africa instead of going right there through the Suez Canal.
right, and it's responsible. I mean, it's responsible for the inflation that we're dealing with. Not to mention other things, not to mention just the fact that, like, why are we allowing this?
Yeah, I don't think
Why
anybody knows this. I didn't know half of this stuff, to be honest with you. And I consider myself pretty, looped into everything. I don't think people know what's going on in the region. And it's really frustrating. Such low information people are protesting in America for something that I don't think anybody really knows what's going on.
If I could just grab two words you just said, low information. The thing that I want to talk about this week, especially, it's like the JFK files just dropped. The KGB is mentioned over 67,000 times in those files. Israel was mentioned twice. And the JFK files prove that Israel did it. It was all Israel. It's like, I'm not even the one to deny that, like, there could be a Mossad connection there. The Zapruder tape was filmed by an Israeli guy named Abraham Zapruder. There's some stuff there. I'm not going to deny that. But, like, the KGB is mentioned over 67,000 times. Israel's mentioned twice. And they grabbed this document that was released, that was written 9 years before JFK was even shot. And it says, oh, Israel wants to be redacted. This proves it. It's like, let's have some balance. Let's not be low information. If you're gonna say it's all Israel, whatever, at least know what you're talking about. The low information stuff really gets me.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a real serious problem. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, no, I mean, that's the problem of the Jews, if you ask me. Like, nobody really cares about the information. It is like nobody cares about the information that is true about, like, Jewish people, right? It's at all. Like, you were talking about October 7th. Like, there is no justification to not make Hamas a parking lot, like at all, after what they did. Like, none. But instead, we have low information people being told that it's a genocide in Gaza because, of whatever reason, because Israel evil, right? And I'm not saying Israel's a great, like, the government of Israel is good people at all by any stretch of the imagination. So, but what I am saying is, if anybody had a reason to strike anybody it was after October 7th. Like, they paratroopered in, raped, murdered, and killed children, women, everything like that. Like, frankly, like, if I was president, I'd be like, they're all dying. Like the entire family line, like, because that's honestly how people would technically really react. But instead, they were able to, like, kind of take all the low information college kids, because it's weird how you go for higher education, you become dumber, but they were to take all the low education college kids and frenzy them into thinking that Israel was just killing people in Gaza and, you know,
For no
everything
reason.
like that, just because for no reason, just because they felt like it. You know, same thing with the Houthis. The Houthis attacked American ships. So many people are saying, well, Trump's starting a war. They're attacking our fucking ships, people. Like, what the fuck do you expect us to do? We should just wipe them all out. It would just be, the world would be a better place. I don't get it.
You know what's funny? Imagine if Canada went into Plattsburgh, New York, paraglided in and just started raping and killing men, women, and children. We would Canada would be obliterated within a week. Yet Israel, it's like, oh, we're just gonna go and take out your, just publicly rape and beat women in backs of pickup trucks. We're gonna just publicly drag them through the streets dead or barely alive. And then Israel's just gonna be like, oh, well, we want peace. I don't understand, because no nation in this world would be expected to not just destroy everything related to that after that happened. It's absurd. When that happened, I'm like, man, they're about to get fucked up. I'm like, and I'm surprised. And they've been very, in my opinion, shit. Do I think America should fund Israel? No, I don't. I don't think we should fund anybody. I think Israel got this. But, and look, my mother's serving the idea. Oh, she's a lying Jew. Whatever. We could take hearsay, right? Look, dude, these people, they literally put military bases in schools. Like, that's how that's how Hamas, who are the leading party of the Palestinian people, operate. So it's going to happen. You're going to have some collateral damage. But the misinformation, I hate to use that word, the propaganda, the pro-Hamas propaganda I can't even fathom it. And I'm not even a pro-Israel guy. I'm an America-only guy, just for the record. But I'm looking at this as a guy like, okay, I'm watching the situation. America should not, be getting involved. We should not have troops on the ground. They got this. But why do we expect Israel to just roll over after they committed this atrocity? I don't get it. Maybe you guys can explain.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can. So you have two things. On one hand, is you have a bunch of leftists who are out there, and look, they exist in Israel, they exist here, they exist all over the world, and fundamentally, they think that that powerful Western governments are illegitimate and deserve what they get. And if if Plattsburgh was invaded from Canada tomorrow, these same people would say, no, like, let's get on our knees and give them whatever they want. So, like, okay, the leftists, that's not that, for me, that's an old story. Like, I grew up with these people. I've been fighting them all my life. I get it. They're insane, but I get it. What is really insane to me, and to me, can only be explained with anti-Semitism, is when you have right wingers, especially in America, who are like, oh my God, Israel is committing a genocide, and they're indiscriminately bombing, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, the poor Palestinians. I'm like, dude, if you were in their position, you right winger, you would want to scorch the earth. You would, like, you're not, like, yeah, give me a break. The dude who's like wants to rehabilitate, Adolf Hitler, and says that, the Holocaust was just a logistical problem, for that guy to be, for example, to be all like, oh, the civilian casualties are a problem, is a little bit rich.
I got a question for you, David.
Yeah.
So, I'm one of the first people to say, like, Israel should minimize the bombings, whatever. But Tucker Carlson's been going hard on this. He's one of the people trying to characterize it as all one-sided. You were in a documentary that Mike Cernovich put out called Blood Money, and it talks about Qatar putting money all over the right, the left to buy influence. People always talk about AIPAC buying influence, and not really a lot of people know that Qatar puts money all over DC, all over the media. And then Tucker goes and does this interview with a Qatari prince or whatever he is.